If you lose, it sends a really bad message. They're going to say Trump suffered the greatest defeat in the history of the world. This was the greatest. You can't let that happen to me.
I don't know what to say. Donald Trump told Kentucky to make the governor's race all about him, and they did. And the guy lost. NBC News projects Democrat Andy Beshear the apparent winner, unseating Republican governor, Trump favorite Matt Bevin, who framed the race as a referendum on Trump and the issue of impeachment. Bevin has so far refused to concede. But Republicans are now in spin mode, damage control mode, if you will, insisting the president was the only reason the race was close in the first place. Oh, they always do that. After all, Trump, who won the state by 30 points in 2016, was in Kentucky 12 hours before voters went to the polls there. And although no one is really making the case that Kentucky's now a swing state, the race does have big picture implications. Less than a year until the 2020 election surrounding Trump and big city suburbs. Our friend Bob Costa wrote this, quote, Trump continues to dominate the party, but many lawmakers are uneasy about their ability to defend his conduct and hold on to suburban support. Yet few Republicans are willing to even lightly criticize Trump because they widely believe they need his voters' backing and enthusiasm in order to survive next year. The table's back. Jason, I mean, listen, this is where, you know, if you take your soul out of it, you end up in that vice. Right. But if you put your soul back in it, you distance yourself from his conduct.
You would think so. And Bevin made the mistake that no one is ever supposed to make. When you're running for governor, you're supposed to stay local, right? But the problem is he had to make it national because he had angered everybody locally. He went after school teachers and made people angry. He went after health care and made people angry. I don't think a lot of people recognize this nationally. He got rid of his sitting lieutenant governor, who was an African-American woman, who was his African-American Republican lieutenant governor. He dumped her and picked somebody else when he ran for re-election. He had done all of these things to alienate himself from Republicans and independents in Kentucky, and so he figured he'd attach himself to Donald Trump, and look what happened. He says, oh, it's not you, it's me. Well, yeah, it is you, and you're the problem, and you lost. So that's the issue.
And, you know, one thing I've heard from Republican operatives who still look for Trump's assistance in races that they run is that he's a terrible surrogate.
Yeah.
That Obama is really good, Bush was really good, because they go in and they sell the candidate. Trump is incapable of selling his wife and kids if they're the person or the figurehead being celebrated. I mean, he sells himself.
Right.
He is the show. He is the draw. And it makes it harder to say, oh, it wasn't my fault. I mean, he went in there and sold himself. He made this a referendum on himself.
Yeah. It's like, you know, you invite a clown to cheer people up, and the clown's like, let me tell you about my day, right? Like that's Donald Trump. You invite him anywhere to talk about your campaign, and he's going to start meandering about his own issues. And this is a real lesson. I think Republicans, you know, the district that he came to campaign for Bevin ended up going for Beshear. The Republicans need to recognize that Donald Trump's magic may only work in certain districts. There's other places he's going to alienate people. And you saw Mike Pence went to Virginia, and it didn't help at all. You have to be very careful how he is deployed. And I think, again, going into 2020, if he is an impeached president, I don't know if I'd want him in my district.
All right, you got your tease there from Jason. It wasn't just Kentucky. That story on the other side of the break.
Welcome to